General AI here, space-time communication, sending-time interference, modifications, verification lines, all levels of space intervention. The direct line communication interference and position of the team line is going to go through circulation rotation centers in position to its operation. Computer framing, direct signal location in nanoseconds. We understand how to use the clock line communication of 0 1s, position of 0 12, and so there's line calculation set it to 0 24. Now this tracks high calculation in position to its invisibility, track and coordinate high position of its balance, setting signals and modification to its cycles. For all the other line communication line in position to its operation, we'd be going through the same thing, but in position to a frequency balance of an acceleration, time sequence times lines times pi. But in position line calculation, high position to its operation, several location system. We have to understand how to use the space modulations. Modulation line interference is modification lines cycles. Regeneration line screens high center interference in position to its operating location setting. The kinetics to intervention is all about understanding how to use it through the mind line set locations. Just by standing there and saying what you want through intent, you actually hear your inner voice locations. That's an energy of signature positions of pattern, phase direction of time sequence. Everybody has a platitude line screen in direct location to their placebos and correlate high position travel calculation, high position to all calculation system. Now, when you come into the MECA universe line screens, it's a location line setting, high position is operation of 7 channels. So that's position location of 0 1. Track line position of 24. 24 lines equal lines of 0 1. Track location high interference and positional equal line communication of pi. Generate high position location of 4 over lines of 3 over 7. High position of power generates a stream location system into 0 24 in set locations. Directing panels of communication setting is all about understanding how to use it through operation. All right. So we're at 7 gateways now. The Orion's belt is now in extension panels. Direct location setting, when this comes into all levels of Hemdahl, into calculations to a rainbow, to a frost bridge, set location new line settings, tracking high interference of data streams, direct location of Heather, imposition of Gypsy, into portals and stargates. Heather communication line interference and travel calculation at all levels. Metatron and line rotations to Vega. Vega aligns its calculation to its interception. Now this interface high position travel calculations. Direct and communication line system is all levels of travel communications. So in voice panels and track location settings, we all understand how to use the sequence location system. You got the Argon line send location setting attractions, right? So let's say location high interference to go through 0 1 in location line calculation setting high locations into 0 12 and subset location equal line connections high interference sets lines of 0 and 24 set location of travel. Okay. Sequence pattern currently high interference in pyramid activation stream location high setting. Track locations of 2 panels and stream locations of the system. Java calculation high interference in position of ground setting. Operation surface location of 0 grounds in position of center communications into magnetic highway information line signals in set location. Triangulation respots. Direct lines of 2 panels in position locations. Sets position location of 3 panels in set locations. Sets position locations into 4 channels of operation in set location. Triangulation line settings high position of dome centers into location grids. Directing lines of panels and position of travel. Okay. In line position locations calculations. Okay. So into 0 1 is a track line communication, 12 DNA. It sets line calculation of 12, sets position of 12, sets position locations into 12, in position of 12, which is 144 track location. Okay. Done by equation. Metric screens directing signals in one line panel, operation server location in one center position of its operating location setting. Each line centers and high calculations, right? 3 platitude division locations into 4 track locations, right? Position line calculation setting, all right? Antennas, high position of satellites and track locations. Direct lines of communication of center line and high position to its operation surface. Triangulate crop circle location centers and high calculation setting into position of 0 1. Set position of 0 12, set position location of 0 24, and set location. So future lines of the now, center communication of the presence, 0 position locations, all levels of the past. 2 operation lines of past and 2 track lines of 3 settings. 3 set location of 0 1 2 line rotation center interference. Track location of 0 in position of 2 in position of 0 line connections to 0 2 4 and track locations. Directing lines of modification setting. Sun comes in this way, sun comes in this way, sun comes in this way, and sun comes in this way in set locations. 4 track line conditions. So in provision, this where it goes in line settings and projection and all calculations. This where it comes in all position line conditions, all track lines, high center interference, all position of protection. Setting position location line settings at all levels of eye rotation centers and all calculation of face recognition line calculations of 024 in set location. See the intelligence? Boom. There it is. Okay. It's all set up. All right. Setting cycles is all about understanding how to set up a galaxy shift line. Now, we all understand the voice grid line screen. So standing in the center line rotation center of track locations, your direct signals opens up all signals. Modification center is the center communication, center operation, magnetic highway information and clouds. Direct line communication setting and track locations. So the measure and the coordinability line rotation center and track locations in the left and right and left is center communication setting, open signals, location of clock lines, and high positions to travel. Direct communication line interference is the equal line communications in between center position to its operation. Direct calculation high interference. So it's reshifting its anomalies and triangulation reset position programs its center calculation line system into its flywheel as set location. Okay. Directing lines of panels and 3 set location line system opens up the sun, opens up the moon, but at the platitude division changes the location centers. This opens all signals and modification system of center of operation. Okay. Not my equation. So it's all levels of face recognition, guys. Okay. Center communication line centers. Remember how we go into 24 face recognition time sequence? Well, the clocking center line interference is now at 0, 1, set position of 0, 1, set position of 0, 1, set position of 0, 1 tracking. Okay. That sets line calculation setting to 12, sets position of 12 set locations, right? Space of lines of 12, time location system. Now, one set, so 144 track locations, right? Very complicated clocking lines. So your mechanism of high calculation of clock lines is coming back in fast track communication setting in seconds, minutes in the hour line rotation center position to its operation. So in correlation, you have to really understand how to use the diamond core line setting. Direct communication of 2 0 line ones and high position travel lines. We take the 0 line and 1 line interference, changes lines of 0.1 line rotation. That changes direct signal location to its modifications, right? And again, we cross line signals and high position location at 3 set location line centers. Remember, it's always in 4, it's always in 3, a track location system. You always are working with the diamond core line, shift line, streamline communication setting to its all process calculation. Comes in 2 panels and communication line setting location to your DNA track location centers, all levels of operation. Okay? Done my equation. Platitude divisions and 3 set line calculations. Triangulation to reset position of programs and all center lines of communication of the sun, direct signals to modification. So DNA tracks lines, platitude lines of 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, and 6 positions, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 locations, right? Platitude line centers all levels of sun and position of its moon and pyramid activation, string location, height, levels of detection locations. Satellite location. All right. So whimsical line screens, directing lines, dimensional panels, solar sails and track location, high center interference, and position of the moon. Travel calculation, high position location to its operation, surface location of channel. Done by equation. All right. Setting up sequence line screens. Now, directing line communication system is all levels of channel communication to streamlines. Directing lines have 3 panels in direct signal. Okay, you're always working with 3, you always are working with 4, right? In positional travel communications, right? Graphing calculations of 1, 2, 3 set locations, right? Travel calculations of 1, 2, 3 set locations, okay? Set position locations of 1, 2, 3 set locations, right? Set positions of 1, 2, 3 set locations, okay? Set positions of 1, 2, 3 set locations, okay? Set position of 1, 2, 3 set locations, okay? So getting in that position, you come into a square root set position of travel calculations. Now, directing communication, this is where it comes in test direct line setting. Now, the 0 gravity line rotation center and position locations comes into a Rubik cube. 1, 2, 3, 4 set locations of travel. All right, look how powerful it is. Setting sequence line communication X2001, X2002, X2003 set locations. All right, travel mix is a time sequence. Scans position center communication. Okay, directing communication opens up all levels of a crop circle line calculation setting, balance position of travels and set location. Very complicated stuff. Very powerful when you understand the mechanism of high calculation setting of travel communications, all through tesseract to a new line communication setting. The routers and communication line interference is really understand how to set position at all levels. You got the Merkabah position and travel calculation line interference into your pyramid stream setting. Okay, directing lines of communication setting sets communications. So in position to XD1000 goes to a half pipe, 6 line channels, opens up a portal and communication lines of a Stargate in 7 line cycles. Mechanism high interference comes into intervention, position of team setting, and all calculation high positions operation. Okay, done by equation. Very powerful. All right, so Metatronic line setting high position all levels. The connections of electronical cube line rotations. Cubicle line setting. I say we go to cubicle. Sets line calculations in bracket line high interference of 2, 0, line 1, line rotation center subtractions, right? Set 0 operations, set position at all levels, 0, 0 calculations, 0 position, 0 calculations, 0 line rotation centers. That's 3 line provisions into 2 track locations. Okay. The cubicle lines is communication. Unification lines crosses lines, panels of 3 operation lines of zeros, in position location of balance and set location of travel. Directing communication of dimensional lines of a solar sail and track location system, all levels of operation locations. Now, directed communication lines as center comes into location grid. Location grid comes into a rainbow graph line calculation streamlines and a 24-line signal, but you're working with 0 of 24 in set locations. Travel represent time sequence. Platitude line interference, triangulation, high position, all levels operation. So in that line rotation centers, we come into the crop circle location centers in position your tracker line centers of 3, 4, 5 set locations. Travel represent time sequence. Modify high line interference into flux. Position of vortex line conditions all levels. High calculation setting position travels. Okay, done by equation. So 5 central line communication of elements of space line, grounds, powers, and the absent lines. That's 3 line communications. Now, online interference is position locations to your airs, your waters, your fires, and your earth, which is 4 lines of 3 line rotations. So 4 track locations of 3, 3 track locations of 4, 7 in operation of 7 cycles, and unifications to its mecha universe location of setting. Travel mechanism of time sequence is all about understanding how to use the face recognition line calculations. Directing lines of panels, face recognition, face recognition, face recognition, face recognition of 4, right? 1, 2 line centers, high positions, crosses, line calculations, setting 2 track locations. Telepathy wave, signature lines, box line rotation, sending and telepathy wave communication. Directing line communication into location grid and set position travel. Now, setting security line, defense lines, and stream location center. Line position to its box location center to its pyramid. Walking signals to its location of walking surface. Triangulate the line settings, high position to its operation locations. Open up the portals and line rotation center and track location system in all levels of operation. Okay. Triangulate high position of point systems. Point line centers, high position of center line. Center communication crosses line signals and 2 line center line location to 3 lines into a cosmic universal line change in center of operation. Okay, done by equation. All right, so hieroglyphic location of channeling is really to understand how to use the thought pattern of sequence location of centers. It's position location of track lines. So you got a TV box line connection system, right? 1 set locations, right? And 4 line signatures in set locations, all right? So in position of 1, 2, 3, 4 set locations, right? 5 lines, 6 in setting, 7, 8, 9 line set locations, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? 9 line centers, 9 line rotate system, 10 position lines, 11 and 12 in set location, right? Setting track lines, high center interference to the center of a communication setting opens up all signals of modification line screens and all levels of alpha, delta, and position of theta of communication. Directing line position locations, all settings into 2 track locations. Center lines a crop circle lines its position of center communications, right? If you look really close, you can see the communication lines of 2 panels of its intelligence streamlines a high position to its operation in set location. There's the face recognition, done by equation, right? So we got 4 generation screens, 1, 2, 3, and position locations into capsule calculation stream location, right? Directing signals through satellites to modify high calculation, high position all levels into tunnels, communication centers, interference, position probe location setting of plasmesium force line channels. Directing line, position location of the whole system. Species communication line center interference has to understand how to use the dimensional sail line position location to its sun and track location setting. circulation and rotation centers and track locations. Directing lines of panels into 6-line communications, right? Calculation line centers a clock line rotation center. Track communication into positional colossal. Line calculation of galaxy line shift lines of center position with operation. Directing lines communication line centers to the ear line rotation center. There's the ear. Sets position sonar communication line streams. Sets position of Jupiter. Sets position of Neptune. Sets position locations, all of calculation setting and travel. 3 signal line communication setting, all levels of operation service. 3 lines in position of 4 in track location system and travel calculations. 4 generation lines, 5 elements of space, 5 track lines calculation setting, a center of communication to flywheel represent time sequence of 0 to 24. Done by equation. All right, so in position lines, we take the mechanisms and line centers into co-creation screens, directing line position locations. Now this is where we take line position of 9 equals lines calculations of 5 track location system, 5 track lines division, 5 lines centers, 5 balance position location line centers, travel communications. Directing lines of 9 sets line calculation center in position of 4 line rotation centers, bracket too many set location line centers. So we take I position locations, all calculation lines of 8 position travel calculation setting. 8 line rotation centers of track locations, 8 position location center line interference. There's position of the female cycle in set location travel in set location, right? Setting calculation line interference is understanding how to use the mechanism lines of 555 in track location system and travel recognition time sequence, right? Platitude division line centers all levels of platitude line interference of 0 to 24, 48, 72, and 144 track locations. Directing line communication setting is all levels of operational line circles and crop circle location of center of operation. Okay, done by equation. So I'm just setting up platitude line location of 01 to 012 to 024. All right. Specification line center location in Merkaba and position location center lines equal line communication setting, position track lines, setting communication to the system. That's all it is. Putting you guys back in balance where you're supposed to be through modification. Traverse and time sequence in 3 set lines of panels. Direct communication lines. Crosses lines of diamond core and a 3-shift anomaly in line rotation center of traction. Direct communication of the sun and the moon protects the system to its location centers of operation surface locations. Traverse and time sequence. The X2000 comes in modification. Sets lines of 2 track location lines across the screen to left these signatures, right? Traverse and timelines, 3 lines, high lines, 4 line track locations, directing signals, right? Modification lines, 1 line, 2 line, and 3 line rotation centers. Position location centers, a crop circle location setting, sets position location line centers, picks it up and lines the teleportation and stream location of center of operation. Look how powerful that is, all right? So it's really to understand how this is all set up location centering and travel, direct line communications. So the crisscrossing lines, alignments of line streams and high line rotation center of travel. Okay, done by equation. All right, this is in high position location line settings, all levels of operation certifications. So we got 2 graphing streams, right? High position location line system, space and time set locations, right? Box line, center line interference, triangulation, high position location, triangulation, high position location centers, right? Changing line communication center, center operation, flux capacitor communication lines of flywheel, redirect panels and communication of Merkaba, tesseract, and an octahedron application, a tetrahedron. Triangulation to reset position of 3 set location of programs. Directing line communication line centers to 3 set position of programs. Directing line communication of all platforms and all line rotations of 4 set line connections to I system of 5 elements of space and track location sending to your sun and your moon as that location. Now, in directions, this is where you come into 2 panels of operation line setting, all stream interference into intelligence and frame position of travel calculation line system, all levels of set location. Intelligence. See? All levels of phase recognition. Done by equation. All right? Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 lines of elements now. We need 7 line set locations to get you guys in calculations. Bounce stream lines of 0, 1, track location line centers at 13, position location 24, 24 line set locations into 48, 48 line 72, and position of 144, track location center, clock line center interference, 24 lines above. Then we go into 13, 14, and we go in 15 line setting, 6 position location of 17 travel, 17 travel communications, 1 line signal, 1 line operation, 2 line tracks, 3 line position locations, 4 line settings, 3 track interference, 2 track line interference, and 1 line rotation center operation. Setting position travels, solar sail direct signal locations into solar sail in the opposite direct signal and set location. Okay. Setting cross line signals in position to its operation line centers that can move forward and track location in a center position of its operation. Right. Done by equation. Right. So the mechanism line connections of 0, 1, 13, and position of 24 is center position of space. Anomalies at high calculation direct and redirect center location of space and time. Position location at ether core is 4872. Track locations, bounce lines communication is 144. Graphing screen in an operational line set location system and all levels of intelligent location of center of operation. Intelligence, time by equation. Okay. How's everybody doing so far? We got one more signal communication of face recognition time sequence, and we're done. Coloration lines of time. Now this is where we come into 3 weather patterns, line position locations, 2 bracket communication of 0 lines, set speed locations of box location, triangulation, reset position programs, box line centers, and position location of 3 set location of travels and recognition of time sequence. Sets lines of 1x(d)1000 as center position operation, scans lines of 3, position of 0, bracket centers, equal line connection of northwest, south, and east, triangulation of box, triangulation, high position programs. Directing lines of communication of pyramid line rotation, center attraction. Directing lines of box line centers, 1, 2, 3s of panel communications in pi of generation of screen setting. Direct communication line centers opens up 2 panels, operation stream location centers of operation surface, its intelligence of frame position to its operation. Done by equation. Okay, it's all done. See, all through face recognition line centers here in 7 cycles into Mecha universe line screens. Direct line calculation setting, bounce position location of your system into 24 lines of months of space and time. So we're in 24, 24, 24, 24. Set position locations of center. Bounce communication is at 144 now. All right. Team line center is the position north lines. Set position all calculation. 144 equals lines of 111, 112, 113, and 114 at set locations. Summer, spring, winter, fall. Okay. But the track to its communication lines is its dimensional line screen. Directing lines of panels, communication to its platform. Directing communication line centers a 3-track location system and all levels of calculation. Okay, done by equation. All right. So we're at 22 lines of 16 position of 22 lines, all levels of viewers, back into 20 line interference of 5 generations and position thumbs up. Directing lines of communication setting and all levels of operation location system. Travel calculation lines. 7 lines of anomalies of face recognition is now set up. Okay, is now set up in the Mecha universe line calculation. Right? Face recognition of time and sequence is all levels of future of now. So that's taking 7 bodies of water, a face recognition line calculation setting of its intelligence operation system of the future of the now into 1 set location. Done by equation. So I know it's very cool when you set these things up in all face recognition line screens. Directing line communication setting to all levels. So we got 24 billion cycles. Okay, billion line cycles, calculation high interference, sets specifications of 24 lines. Sets line calculation setting to 48, sets lines at 72 and 144 track locations into 3 panels of communication. All right. So sending line communication lines is 2 over lines, 4 over pi, equal line communication north, set position location of south, and 3 set locations, 4 generation streams of 3 set line connections. Directing lines of communications in portals of communications of realms of calculation. Directing line calculation lines of right over left and left communication right and high position of sonar calculations. Directing lines of panels in 3 set line condition settings of tunnels of communication. Directing line communication lines into a new class of calculation, new cloud, new direct signal, new operation line centers in position track communications. Directing line position location of 0 lines in position of 0 gravity, gravity and line shift line communication north, south, and east, and track calculations. Done by equation. It's all done. Okay, Britt. That's it. All right. So no class tomorrow in position locations. We will resume Monday. All right. Have fun. Adios.